Hi FlossTube, it's Jamie with Stitching and Wishing. This is Charlie, little dog. Barley's over there. She was too scared to come over and say hi. So, get down. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's try again. I put them outside, so hopefully we won't be able to hear them bark. The neighbors that used to live next door that had the dogs that they barked at all the time moved, so that house is empty, so they don't bark quite as much. They're still dogs and that's what they do, but maybe it'll be quieter in here. It is a Saturday. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Georgia. I have a rare day at home all by myself. And I was organizing some of my stitching stuff, and so I thought I would swing by and do a little update on kind of some of the things I've been doing since my last video. I think my last video was in March, or was it in February? I don't know, it's been a while. So I will show you what I have here. There's probably some things I'm missing, but whatever, it's not a big deal. I'm working on organizing, so I got my little cross-stitch journal here from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I've been trying to kind of organize my whips and some of the things that I want to work on and finish, and scrapping kind of some of the old things that I don't want to say spark joy, but really that's what it is, right? The things that I'm not loving. I don't want to stitch on things that I don't love. So I'm working on kind of organizing and going through my patterns, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a giveaway and see if some of you guys want some of those patterns. It'll be a little bit. I also realized that in April was my 1-year flosstubiversary. So I clearly missed that milestone, but 1 year on FlossTube. I think this is maybe my 8th video. So I'm not real regular at these, but I appreciate everybody who comes back and watches my videos. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers recently, and I'm guessing that's because of StitchCon, because I did decide I'm gonna go to StitchCon. I think I got the invoice in February. I sat on it for, I think they give you 10 days or something like that, and I wasn't real sure if I was gonna go, but I went ahead and paid the invoice, and then I still was hesitating, and finally last week I sat down and bought plane tickets. I'm gonna room with one of the girls I met at the Stitchnanigans retreat, which I'll tell you all about. And so I'm gonna be at StitchCon, and I'm excited and nervous and all the things, because what I've learned is I've gone to 2 retreats. So I did a local retreat, and then I did the Stitchnanigans retreat. And what I've learned is I'm an introvert. And for some reason, when I walk into those rooms, the nerves take over, and I don't talk to people, and I don't interact like I should. Or I don't know, should is probably not the right word, because I mean, I don't have to, but I want to meet everybody, and I want to make some new stitching friends, and for some reason I just struggle with it, and I don't know. I did at the Stitchnanigans retreat, which was fabulous. It was in April out in Phoenix. I sat with a group of girls, we were kind of in the back of not the back of the room, but they were fabulous, and I think that they're my new stitching friends. And my only regret from that retreat is that I did revert into that introvert nature a little bit too much, and I didn't walk around the room, and I didn't meet everybody, because there were some other floss tubers there that I would have loved to go sit and stitch with, and I couldn't bring myself to do it, which is really unfortunate and my one regret. Otherwise, it was a great weekend. I actually took a whole week because I love Arizona. So I lived in Arizona, I don't know, I guess 10 years ago. I spent a year out there. I had gotten a job and moved out there, and I love the desert. I didn't necessarily love living in Phoenix, and Scott, my husband, hated Phoenix. So I think if we could have lived maybe in Flagstaff or outside of Phoenix itself, it would have been a better experience for him. But I still love the desert, and I'm still drawn to the desert, especially with all the rain they got last summer, and where all the cactuses and the flowers and everything were in bloom. And I'll see if I can insert some pictures at the end of this. I've posted a lot on my Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram, it's Stitching and Wishing on Instagram. There's a lot of pictures of the pretty desert, because there's nothing better than a green and blooming desert. I mean, because that desert itself is pretty wonderful, but my point. So I took the whole week. My husband went with me. While I was at Stitchnanigans, he kind of just hung out at the hotel. But I got a lot done. So here's my finishes that I got in Arizona. So the first is Sweet Spring by Satsuma Street. So I had started this before I left on vacation, and I don't remember how much I had left to do. I think I had the bunny done, and I had some flowers in this bottom border, the bottom, that needed to be done. Oops, excuse me. But this is a blue, it's a color in cotton, but it's one of her limited editions that I got as part of the fabric of the month. I don't remember when. But I don't know that you can get it anyway unless you happen to get lucky. I love color and cotton, so that's why I'm saying that. My second Arizona project was the Spring Whirligig from Heart and Hand. I haven't completely FFO'd this, but I painted this embroidery hoop pink, and that's how it's going to be finished as soon as I sit down and actually finish it. My third project was one of my Stitch 9 challenge pieces. It's The Stitcher's House by Stone Street Stitchworks, and I finished it while I was at the retreat. So before the retreat, I had the border, and I think I had the house done, so I think I had just a big chunk of this and the words to finish, and I sat very diligently during the retreat and finished that. For Stitch 9, I am also still working on the Hands-On Designs Year of Celebrations. I'm trying really hard to get one of these done a month, and so I have finished April, May, and June. So I'm stitching all of these on 18 count Aida, just whatever colors I find in my stash that seem to work well. My next finish is an FFO. It is a club piece from the Silver Needle Circle of Friends stitching club. So after I got back from Stitchnanigans, I think I was home a week or two, and then I had to go back to Augusta, Georgia for a 10-day event for work. And I had a lot of free time during that where I was just sitting in the car waiting for things to happen. And so I took some small projects to work on, and one of them was this. It's the stitching bee from Little House Needleworks. It's the club piece, so the club piece came with everything basically that you see here. I wasn't sure about this design when I first got it. I didn't love it, but then when I started stitching it, and certainly when I finished it, I absolutely love it. And I love the FFO. So they didn't send a backing fabric, but I found this in my stash, which worked really well. So that is done and I love it. And then I also worked on Stitchmaynia. So for Stitchmaynia, I did kind of what I did last year, except last year I had the royal wedding, so I had a royal wedding stitch. This year I didn't do that because I guess I could have did a royal baby, but there's not really any baby type patterns that I would have wanted to work on. So I did one new start a week, and then I did a new start for Memorial Day, a patriotic new start, and I have a birthday in May, so I had a birthday new start. So for week 1 in May, I started the Prairie Schooler Where There Are Bees. I absolutely love this pattern. It was a unicorn pattern for me for a long time, and then they reprinted it. So as soon as I saw the reprint, I purchased it, and I finally started stitching on it, and this is where I got. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count, just white Lugana with all the called for DMCs. It is not going back into my whip pile, it is staying out so that I will continue to work on that and hopefully get it done this year. I don't know, we'll see where we get. For week 2 of Stitchmaynia, I did the Little House Needleworks Heart of America. And I have way too much fabric on this, but this is all I got done. So I didn't make a lot of progress. For several of my Stitchmaynia pieces, I didn't make a lot of progress, but they started. That's all that Stitchmaynia is for, right? It's just to start things. For week 3, I started the Scarlet House Morning Walk. So one of the things I did when I was in Phoenix was, of course, go to the Attic Needlework shop. I went twice. I wish I had gone 3 or 4 times because it is a wonderful store. If you are ever in Phoenix and have the opportunity to go, I highly recommend it. If you've been there, you know that they have a ton of models on their walls. Their walls are just covered in models. Most of them are samplers. And then they have display cases all over that are just filled with little shop models. And most of their models, I won't say all because I don't know that that's true, but a lot of them are stitched on higher count fabrics. And I want to stitch on higher count fabrics. I want everything to be small and delicate and beautiful like they are at that shop. So I dived into 40 count. For some reason, 40 count fabric has always kind of intimidated me. I think I've tried stitching on it before and I couldn't figure it out. I struggled with it. For this year for Stitchmaynia, a couple of my pieces, including this one, call for a 40 count fabric. And so I dove in and I love 40 count fabric. Now I keep thinking maybe I want to try an even higher count fabric. I don't know why, but it feels like I stitch faster on 40 count. I don't know if it's because you're using one thread and it just seems to go smoother and faster. I don't know. Or maybe it's all in my head because they're small and so it feels like they're getting done faster. I really don't know. But for Morning Walk, I did not make a lot of progress. And I think the reason that I didn't make a lot of progress on this one was because of the color of the fabric. So this calls for a 40 count ale from Picture This Plus, And I ordered 40 count ale, and it was way too dark. I want it to look like this. That fabric was too dark. So this is picture this plus oaken. And I don't know why I'm not loving it. I don't know if it's because of the modeling or what, but I think I'm gonna try a different count 40 or different color of 40 count fabric and restart this because I love this pattern. They had this as a shop model at the attic, and it's what made me buy it's what made me buy this pattern, honestly, because the shop model was so fabulous. For week, what are we on? Week 3. I started the Summer House Stitchworks Sister Suffragette, and I was stitching the little America Vote pin, and I did not make it very far on this. So this is, I think, what's it called for? It's the called for. It's 32 count Confederate gray, and that's what this is. A little bit of progress. We'll see when I get back to that. The other 40 count project that I started was for my birthday. I started the Scarlet House, A Perfect World. And again, I think my problem, why I didn't make more progress on this, was fabric color. Because I really like 40 count, but I think the color's not working. For one, I think this color's, I don't know what this is, but I think it's too dark. I think it's too dark for the pattern, and I think it's too dark for me to stitch on. 40 count, the holes are tiny, and when it's dark, it's even harder to see. So I think I'll be looking for some new fabric for this. I went to, so another trip I made last month was to Memphis. It was a relatively short trip, but I kind of knew there was a needlework store in Memphis, but I had never had the opportunity to go before. I actually go to Memphis quite a bit for work. And this time I took the detour on when I went to leave to come home, I took the detour and went to the needlework shop. It's the Stitchers Inc. in Memphis. It's a fabulous store. So if you've ever been there or if you go there, it's very unassuming. It's kind of in the back of this strip mall. They don't have any displays in their little window. And so I kind of hesitated a little bit before I opened the door, but it's a great store. The women that work in there are fabulous, and they have all kinds of fabrics, floss and patterns and everything that you'd want from an LNS they have in that little shop. They tried to help me find some fabric for this one. It calls for a 40 count meadow rue. They didn't have any, and I can't find that in stock. So I've ordered it from Picture This Plus, but it's been out of stock for at least a month. So I'm gonna have to find something else to stitch this on because I want to stitch it. So if you've stitched this or if you're stitching it, what are you stitching it on? I'd love to see, because I want to find something. Even maybe I need to go a little higher count or a lower count. Maybe I need to look at a 36 instead of a 40. But regardless. So for Memorial Day, I started Liberty and Justice for All from Summer House Stitchworks. And I finished it. So my finish is a little bit wonky, but I've made this. Oops, just knocked everything off the table. So I got this red container from Hobby Lobby, a little bell, and this is going to sit on it as soon as I fix the wonky. My friend gave me this plant last week, with little round leaves. I can't pronounce the name of it. I'll put it in the notes. But it's a cute little plant, a little flag. I felt like this was very patriotic and I loved it. And as soon as I fix the wonkiness of that, it'll be cute. For week 5 of Stitchmania, I started Queen of the Needle by With Thy Needle and Thread, and I finished it and FFO'd it. So I stitched this on 40 counts country mocha. Finished it as a little pin pillow. The blue in her dress is Color and Cotton Sapphire. So I smartly this year decided that my fancy floss stash needs to grow. And so I'm doing the floss of the month from Color and Cotton. I think I'm doing a mix, so you get some brights and some neutrals. And this was, I don't know, March or April's, the sapphire. And then everything else was pulled from my stash. I made it kind of match up with what's on the pattern, but just kind of my own floss. And then I added the little string to her needle and some little rickrack from Lady Dots. The fabric on the back is says my soul is fed with needle and thread. I love this so much. I'm stitching it again. So this one is going to be an exchange piece. I just kind of was thinking this was an exchange, but I love it so much that I want to keep it. And I'm stitching it again. So yesterday I finished her dress, and I think I can probably get this done today or tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or next Saturday. But I'll get this done as an exchange piece. I'm hesitating a little bit because I don't know it's a blind exchange, and I know that there are going to be some male stitchers. And do you think they'd be upset by getting Queen of the Needle? I don't know. I don't know that really matters because it's a cute pattern. It's a cute stitch. I mean, if they're offended, I'll stitch them something else. I don't think they're going to get offended. I think I'll be fine. Want to see haul? Let's start with Stitchnanigans. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this stuff because I think you've probably seen it already. A lot of the people that were at Stitchnanigans have already done some update videos. But here's the pattern from Works by ABC and Arlene Cohen. My little Peppy. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with him yet. I'll put him on something. McKenna, for her little giveaways during the retreat, she found these little unique little cactus. It's got a magnet in it, a little needle minder, little thread conditioner she made. Hopefully that's not a screenshot when I post this video. Not that I really care. There was an exchange during the Stitchnanigans retreat, and this is the exchange piece I got from Ashley. It's a cute little buffalo. There were some other things that she had in with this, some threads and some lotions and things, but those have migrated to other places in my house, so I'm not going to show them to you. I think this is most of what I bought at the attic. I might be missing some things, but who cares, right? Oh, my Stitchnanigans mug. I won one of the raffles, and so that was my raffle prize. I bought at the attic Nancy's Posies from Needle Made Designs. Because they had the model at the shop is the only reason I bought that. Our free gift at the attic was a little corner gauge. And then I purchased a couple of Roveris patterns. because I had been looking at these and I saw them on the shelf and decided they needed to come home with me. And then the only other one that I have was from Homespun Elegance. Wine is, coffee is, tea is. So I bought this pattern because this wine is bottled poetry was stitched up and sitting on the counter at the attic, and I really liked it. So while I was at Stitchnanigans, I started it, and I haven't worked on it since. But this is as far as I got, and this is a 36 count fabric. It's very wrinkly, and I don't think it's the called for threads. I think it's just threads that I found. When I FFO'd this bee, it made me want to stitch all the bees, and as you might be aware, there's a lot of bee patterns out there. So while I was at Stitchers Inc. in Memphis, I bought a couple bee patterns, including the Heart and Hand Stay Bumble, Little House Needleworks Queen Bee, and then Twisted Threads Spelling Bees. I hadn't seen this one before, and it's adorable, but my favorite part is, I don't know if that'll focus. You see the little bee buttons? They're so cute. So those all came home with me, as well as this Lizzie Kate's Hats Off to Halloween. The shop model at Stitchers Inc. of this is stitched on perforated paper. I don't think I'm going to be doing that, but it was sure cute. I also got, because I was in a patriotic mood, Freedom from Scissor Tails Design. Also has a cute little button with it. And I had not seen this one. It's Summer House Stitch Works Reality Check. And it's got all kinds of, it's got some patriotic little flowers, some bees. It's got everything that I was into the day I went into the shop. So that also came home with me. Do you hear the dog scratching on the door? This little dog. She's fine. She's totally fine outside. It's a beautiful day. But she's spoiled, so she wants to come in. Couple purchases that I made not at needle workshops. Well, this one technically did come from a needle workshop. This is Needle Stance. It's the collaboration from Hands On Designs, Ink Circles, and Summer House Stitch Works. I loved it. I got it as a full kit. So the fabric, this is 32 count, oh, what is it? Blue Moon. I've actually started stitching on this a little bit. Yeah, you can't even see it. I came with the threads, a cute little needle minder, and a little bunny thread conditioner. So I don't use thread conditioner, but somebody stitched this and finished it and used their thread conditioner as an embellishment on their frame, which is a really cute idea, I think, and maybe what I'll end up doing. I don't know. I gotta get it stitched first, right? Some other purchases, because when I finished this, I liked it so much. I wanted to do some more. Suffrage Act, Little House Needleworks. I think I know what I want to stitch that on, so that might go into the Stitch This Soon pile. I think somebody either on one of the stitching groups on Facebook or maybe on Instagram had finished this one, Jardin Privé The Simple Life. It's really cute. It has some other things, some strawberries and sheep and everything that I was kind of into last month. So that came home. Country Cottage Needleworks, My Country. I love the colors in this, the pinks and the blues. It's patriotic, but it's not the red, white, and blue patriotic. Really cute. And the final one that I have sitting here is because of my obsession with lavender. Lavender Farm. I saw this last week and was like, I really want that pattern. So it also came home with me. Came to my house, delivered by my wonderful mailman. Do you ever feel like the mailman gets sick of delivering packages to your house? I get at least one stitching related delivery a week. Usually it's more than that because I do a lot of online shopping. So yesterday, though, I purchased the new Lindy Stitches patterns. I don't have those printed out, so I'm not going to show them to you, but go check them out. They're adorable. I want to do her, I can't even think of, I don't know what it's called, but it's the one with the little baby eaglets. And I've ordered a patriotic thread pack from Victoria Motto that I will use to stitch that one. And I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what I want to take to StitchCon. How many projects? I will probably take way too many because that's what I do. But I'm just trying to decide if I want to take something that maybe I can finish, a new start. I don't know. I'm sure that while I am in Cincinnati, I will go to Keepsakes, and I know that at StitchCon they're going to have a big trunk show. So I will certainly be making some purchases. I can't imagine me not buying anything. At the very least, I'm going to find some fabric for the projects that I told you about that I really think it's a fabric color. And so I will have my eyes open for that, and then whatever else catches my attention. So if you're coming to StitchCon, I know I've gotten several new subscribers over the last couple weeks, and I'm gonna assume it's because of StitchCon. So if you see this video and you see me at StitchCon, please come say hello. I would love to meet you. Hopefully I won't be a total introvert and we'll be able to have some fun discussions and we'll stitch together. If nothing else, let's just sit and stitch together. If you're not coming to StitchCon, I would still love to stitch with you if I ever see you or meet you somewhere else. And in the meantime, big stitchy hugs, happy stitching, happy Saturday, and until next time, bye.